Well, that is she has a title of sergeant, the way what I've been told, but she is not a certified highway patrol, BPS, but she has a title of sergeant in their division. So, anyway, I am trying to find out about that. A lot of citizens request they have to go to Beeville or to Floresville, get driver's license renewed. So, anyway, those offices we have need for. Or the offices we have now in the permits building over there, we have Helen. David has an office in there. We have 12 and 911. And we have Susanna and Zane has an office in there. And of course, if we move to this is the next item, the Canal building, but Zane can put an office in that building back in the shop for maintenance supervisor. So we have need for offices. So
we have officers. We need an assignment maybe of officers.
Right. So these new ones come, if we find a place for TCQ and Railroad Commission, we're going to have to assign them someplace. So everyone has to think about that, think about what can be done. The highway patrol I've talked to here in this office, they said they may need to keep this office down here. They may not vacate this office. They're going to have to assess their, like I said, let's start assessing and let us know what you need. Talk to Officer Baker.
When is he going to get back to? We need to get a commitment from somebody if they're going to.
CPS has got offices in the new jail, if I'm correct, so we just vacate them.
That's correct. We worked with the architect and made a modification to provide a room for 5 troopers and a secretary there. There's a couple of the local troopers who don't feel like they should come to the new jail and would rather stay here. But anyway, the sergeant indicated to me that they would be moving regardless if the troopers liked it or not.
I'd rather move the conventions office down here. This building is not friendly to people that need access, like with wheelchairs or walkers or something. They have to walk all the way around, and if people can come in the election office on that end, it makes it a lot simpler, a lot easier for people.
We modified a wall, took a wall out and at the jail and accommodated for them to come there. But like I said, their supervisor here said that they would be moving, regardless of what the local atmosphere was, is what he indicated to us.
They would be moving
From this office to the new jail.
to the new jail.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there's room for them in the new jail.
Yes, sir. Now, just to add on a little bit to that, they announced 2 days ago that they have permanently assigned now a permanent license and weight trooper to Karnes County and to Goliad County, and they would be starting sometimes within the next 30 days. So we should have another full-time position, but we question about the office space. And licensed and weight troopers are not assigned offices in counties that they're assigned to. They work out of their vehicle. DPS gives them a Tahoe, furnishes them all their equipment to work out of their vehicle, so they do not get assigned a office space per se in the county they're assigned to. So we would not need an additional space over there. So we have 4 troopers right now assigned to Karnes County. We can accommodate 5 and 1 secretary. So if the license weight guy decided he wanted an office, we could accommodate him there. So.
Any other comments?
So I would understand then that they will be moving out of this office.
That's what the sergeant told the sheriff here just a few weeks ago. Yes, they would be moving.
If you don't mind, I just want to make sure, I mean, Shelby mentioned it, but I want to make sure that the court is aware, and I have mentioned it a number of times, but you know, the space we have now is not, number one, it's not adequate for boating when we set up machines, and it really is dangerous, and we have many people who have complained about the access issue. So I had been holding them off, and, you know, I had discussed with several of the commissioners that when the DPS leaves, could we kind of, and I know, you know, there's no, you know, I get this, but us taking over that DPS office, because it would be perfect. We could bring our voters in from the curb there. They would be able, we could give them accessible parking. Plus, when we do our curbside voting, we would just have to go right out to the car. But we would also have where they would be able to come in without going up too many steps or anything like that. And it's, you know, more and more pressure on us as an elections office by the state to have that accessible voting. So I mean, I just want to keep us in the discussions.
When will y'all be moved?
Whenever we have a space to move to. I mean, as soon as, I mean, you know, as soon as possible. You know, our next election is May 9th, so.
Okay.
Judge, is there anyone, I guess Pete is, but is there any plan in place to look and see what, you know, he's mentioned several things that are possibilities, but how space is assigned, and do we have a plan, or are we just kind of shooting it?
I've only been here since the end of November, and we hadn't had a plan since then. We've had lots of mouth work, very little action that I can see.
Okay, that might be good if we, before we did too much, that we came up with some sort of and maybe this is Pete's purview, and maybe he just gave us that, but he gave us kind of a generalization, but exactly who's going where.
We need to have some discussion at length, because we've had all kinds of discussion among the different office holders, and that I hear. They haven't discussed it with me, but I hear them discussing things. And we will start having some discussions that are not action meetings, but are actually discussions of how we should handle space. And, we've got lots to do.
Well, that's what I was going to suggest, is instead of making a hard, fast decision, perhaps where just as you said, a workshop session where this could all be aired out and come up with some sort of this, I hate to use a worn out word, but a strategic plan to, you know, who's going what and where.
It's a good word.
No, David, it's not my thing. I'm just saying that I've been assigned maintenance and construction.
Please understand, I'm not complaining about
I'm
anything.
just saying people ask me, and so I'm saying we need some plans. This is just a start. We're talking about it.
We need to have a lot of talking and a lot of discussion, which we haven't had, and which we will have, I'm sure.
Well, my suggestion when Pete came and visited with me was that we get a list of all offices we currently have, a list of all offices that are pending, and a list of all the buildings that we have that can have offices in them, whether they exist now or whether they would be constructed. The county has spent a whole lot of money relocating offices on temporary bases, running computer lines, running phone lines. When this is all considered in a workshop and brought for action, it needs to be permanent solutions. We've got the courthouse to consider, we've got this building, we've got 200 East Calvert, we've got 119 North Bond, we've got 115 North Market, and we have the new building on North Bond also. Everybody can be adequately placed in workable situations, but we need to do it one time and one time only, because we've spent over several $1,000s. The most recent moves was county attorney and county judge into this building and relocating extension service to where they were previously at 115 North Market.
I agree with you totally. Anything else from any of the court on this matter? We'll move on to item 20. we haven't done this, have we, Pete?
No, we haven't done
Item 20 is discuss development of the recently purchased canal building into office space, maintenance shop, and storage space authored by Pete Yarrow.
it. All right, we purchased the building. We need to get moving on discussion. We talked about about a workshop session with the judge here about
Have you got an idea for a date for it, Pete?
a date for it.
Yeah, for the work session.
Well, we just have to schedule when we can meet when we all be that date for it. So I don't know
Well,
the time. I'll try to meet whatever time you and James can be available.
James and I could probably be available most any time, and more likely to be able to be there in our present condition than be anywhere else. So, if we want to have a workshop, let's say when we want to have it and have it, instead of just mouthing around about it. We need to have one.
All right,
We need to schedule one at a particular time. It needs to discuss use of our properties, our space, anything else of need that we might have to discuss, we ought to discuss. And if there are other items that you want to get in the workshop, bring them to us and let us put them in.
I don't have a time in mind right now. I think just discuss with Richard and see what I have on my schedule, see what y'all have on your schedule. We'll pick a date next week.
Suits me anytime. My schedule is being county judge. I do that full time.
Pete, I have a doctor's appointment on the 23rd, so I know I won't be available on the 23rd. It's at University, but that's my only day that I wouldn't be. Any other time, I'll be here morning, evening, but
I know I have a meeting on the 18th, I believe. I don't remember what time
Well, check and see, and please bring in the time to my secretary, and we'll schedule. Everybody can be available, hopefully. I don't know why we could not find a date. We couldn't all be available. That should be our primary job, so I'm not sure it is all the time. We'll go forward with it if y'all will bring in acceptable dates, times we can meet in workshops. Okay. Item 21. Is that where we are? Item 21, I believe, is where we are. Discuss, approve, disapprove the Karnes County Jail deductive change order number 64, decreasing the construction contract by $178,142.30, authored by Lorraine Daly. Lorraine.
Do you want me to use this microphone? I haven't seen anything. Yes, good morning. The first item that I have to present to you is a deductive change order for the Karnes County Jail project. What this does is it incorporates 3 items that will be taken out of the construction contract for Hale Mills and handled separately. One is the landscape and irrigation allowance. That is a $50,000 allowance, and as of today, there is nobody under contract to do that work. And I propose that we pull that out, let them focus on getting the jail done, and I'll help the county get the landscaping proposal and get that coordinated outside of their scope, which will allow them to focus on the building and not have to worry about the landscaping. The dispatch radio tower allowance of $126,000, as you know, that was already contracted through Quality Towers, so those funds are being removed from the Hale Mills construction contract. and those funds will be paid, will be put towards the tower construction by Quality Towers that has been contracted. And then the third item is to reduce the construction contingency by $2,142.30 to pay for AT&T to do directional drilling to get the conduit from the property line to the point of service where AT&T is going to be hooking up and providing your fiber and phone service into your jail project. So that totals $178,142 that will be taken out of Hale Mills construction contract. The contractor has signed and I have signed, and we need to have approval by the Commissioners Court to execute this change order.
Say again exactly what you expect us to do.
I just need to have the county approve making these changes to Hale Mills Construction's contract, reducing the construction contract by $178,142.
At 30 cents?
And 30 cents, yes, sir. And then it will be signed by you once approved by the court.
Okay.
And Erica has the originals.
This is things that needed to be done to keep the project moving with the tower and so forth. And we feel like the landscaping, just, she said, just get we go ahead and do it, there's not changing the price in it, we just have to do it instead of Hale Mills on it. And the fiber optic cable needs to go in, so I'll make a motion that we approve this item. That's written.
All right, and
Yes, sir.
I have a question. If I'm looking on your project cost recap for the county jail,
Yes,
we have $2,386,224.66. Is that left to complete the funds left to complete any?
yes, sir. That's the difference between the actual amount spent to date and the amount that was budgeted that's in that first column.
And the amount to date's been $9,035,404, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll
So right
second the
now,
motion.
2 million under.
Yes, sir, but
I second the
some
motion.
of that will be returned back to the county at the end, some of it will be used towards the end, but we will be under the $11 million at
But
the
we
end of
should
the
have to
project.
come up with no more money.
No, sir, there will be no more funds required.
That's my concern. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I've got a problem with these documents that I just looked at.
Okay,
And it's the TSI Laboratories document, and it's got to be signed by me, Judge Walter Long. I've never signed that signature in my life. I'm 79 years old, and I'm not going to sign this one that way either.
yes, sir, Erica informed me and I will have that modified.
Well, I don't ever want to see another one with that name on it.
Yes, sir.
And I've got another one here with the same name. And I will not sign that. I signed Walter R. Long Jr.
Yes, sir.
every time I sign my name.
Okay, yes, sir, it will be taken care of.
All right.
James, you make a motion.
I second it. He made it and I second it as presented.
Excuse me for interrupting you. If it has to do with these, then waive my name. There's no use going through with it because I'm not signing.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible to approve it pending modification of your signature? So we can move
Not
forward?
modification of my signature with my correct signature.
Yes, sir, that's what I meant to say, with the correct
It'd be
signature.
helpful if you say what you mean.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we amend the motion to approve, allowing the judge to sign it with the correct signature being placed on the document.
Well, the motion is to approve the amount there. I don't think it's, where it has to, I don't think I need to change it. Do I?
Well, I don't know, Pete, I'm not gonna sign it with my name any other way.
Well, if, I didn't make a motion to sign that piece of paper, I meant to approve this change order. If she has a proper name on it, you will sign it, is that correct?
Well, that's correct, if it's proper, I will.
So
I don't know
I
what
don't
we
think I
got.
need to change the motion, but.
So
we're approving the change order, correct? That's what we're doing,
I don't know what we're doing.
right, Pete?
Yes.
Which change order?
To the jail.
Change order
Just
to,
for one change order?
change order number 4, decreasing the construction contract by $178,142.30.
It's right here, Steve.
I didn't think we could sign this without the change. I know I'm gonna say, I know who's gonna say. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna sign these unless my name is on them properly. It's not at this point, and if it is, well, I'll sign it. And it's passed by the court.
Hey, Judge, may I ask Herb some truth? Herb, on the item that we're talking right now, on item number 21, discuss approve, this is for the Karnes County Jail. Now, I'm sorry, Joe. Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, change order number 4, decreasing the construction contract on 178-142.30. He made the motion, but the signature, his name's incorrect on the paperwork. But does he have to include in the motion to go ahead and correct that before he signs it?
Just make a motion and just ask you, when the signature is correct, when the judge's name is correctly signed at that time. The motion is good like it stands. You can vote on it. The judge will let you.
I know that one because my name's not properly. And I want it proper.
But if we could get it, just the approval subject to the change, we'll change that and get it to you this afternoon. That's the only thing we're asking for. We're not asking for anything else. That's what the motion is.
First, do it the way you want to, and I'll do it the way I want to.
I'm answering the question, that's all.
Well, I'm stating that I won't sign unless my name's proper. That's easy to understand. If you want it some other way, you say whatever you want to, and I won't sign it.
I got your message, Judge. You're not going to sign it. The question is not that. The question is the motion before the court at this time. No one is, I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Let's move on. Whatever the motion is, that's before the court, I suppose signify your approval by saying aye.
Judge, do you feel it's better for them to bring it back with the correct
Yes,
signature?
I do. I think I've said that.
Okay.
And Mr. Hancock didn't exactly agree, but that's his prerogative. I don't do his job. He didn't do mine. I will not sign it with my name on it here properly. So,
And I'll start over.
you want to withdraw your motion, Pete? Is that what you're
I'll
going to do?
withdraw that motion, make another motion. Hopefully you'll accept this.
Then I withdraw my second.
Okay.
All right. I make a motion to approve item number 21, which is deductive change order number 4, decreasing the construction contract by $178,142.30 with the judge's name written properly on it.
Judge, is that satisfactory for you? You want it to come back a whole nother?
I want him to say what my proper name is on the document. I don't want it.
Put it in the record, Pete.
All
Now
right,
he
we'll
wants
let
it.
that read that the judge's name be written Walter R. Long Jr.
That I will sign. If it's on the
Second.
motion and a second.
Question? Ready?
Well, if I can say what the motion is, I think to authorize the signature with my name properly on the form, correct?
Yes, sir.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All voted for. That was easy.
I have to root now.
Just about. You got it. All right.
Okay,
We're
update,
on item 3.
provide update for the Karnes County Jail project.
On the Daily and Spear Architects agenda items from this meeting. It's item 3, I believe. To item 2, the DSA architect to provide update on Karnes County Jail project. Have we taken care of item 1?
Yes, sir.
We did do that
We did.
with the proper amount, if I recall. And so then we're on item 3. DSA architect to provide update on Karnes County Courthouse roof restoration project. Is that the one we're on?
We're on number jail. Yeah.
She can tell us about the jail.
Okay, the jail, DSA architect to provide the update on the Karnes County jail project. And Dave, you got this?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Good.
In the papers that I handed out to you is the project cost recap, and so I'm here today to present not only the project recap, but to also let you know that the recovery schedule that was presented by Mr. Chapman at the last meeting, so far it has been modified. It is a detailed schedule, and the contractor, as of my last site visit last week, which you'll also see in the reports that I send you every week and Erica puts in your box, the contractor is on schedule with that recovery schedule.
You come look at my box every week? I
No,
don't, I
sir.
don't believe you've been in here every week, so I don't.
But Erica has said that she puts them in the box every week for you, so that is, if you're not getting them in your box, will you please let me know and I will.
No, I will talk to Erica.
Okay. So they should be in your boxes every week.
Okay, you're checking every week, is all I'm asking.
No, sir, I do not.
Well, then you don't know, so let's go.
Excuse me for a minute.
Project recap is pretty explanatory.
Which project recap are we talking about?
The project cost recap.
Well, there's more than
No,
one.
but for the jail, we're on for the jail. Should be 2 pages.
There are multiple pages to this recap. The front page essentially categorizes and outlines each of the items that we're tracking that is part of the jail budget. Every page following your front page corresponds to the item letter on the left-hand side, and tracks each of the individual receipts and documents that are processed through our office and then subsequently approved by Commissioner's Court through the county auditor. The recap shows that the project currently, the original budget that was approved by the court is $11,382,308. To date, we spent $9,035,404. Remaining to be spent is $2,368,224. And we are in the budget and anticipate returning funds to the county at the end of the project based on how things are flowing at this time.
And if I understood correctly, they are on schedule now.
Yes, sir, based on my last site visit. Schedule for They're on schedule for the recovery schedule, which is substantial completion of April the 30th.
Any other questions? No, sir. Do we need to? We don't need to.
All we're doing.
Oh, so it's in the-
Yeah, let's go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Courthouse restoration, roof restoration. yeah.
Yes, sir.
23. Court.
I'm sorry.
No, go
You
ahead.
ready? Okay. The next item in your packet is a project recap for the courthouse restoration project, an update on the status. The construction contract has been prepared by the attorney, Mr. Jeff Chapman. It has been provided to the contractor, Mr. Boyle, for signature. He has signed it. Mr. Chapman is getting the bonds and insurance, reviewing those, and will be issuing a notice to proceed to the contractor. Anticipated date of starting construction is late next week, either the 16th or the 18th of March. At that time, the contractor, which he is already technically has his job trailer out here, he never demobilized from last time, so he'll be ready to jump on the project and get started. We'll be having a pre-construction conference. I'll be sending an email to Erica, letting her know the date of that once it's established with the contractor and Texas Historical Commission to get started on the project. Since it is MJ Boyle, he's worked on the project the last few times. We have a very good working relationship with him as well as THC, and I'm looking forward to another good project with them. The project fund recap again, the first page shows the overall budgeted items that have been approved by the court in February the 10th of 2015, and then actual amount spent to date for each of those items, and we'll continue to track the project cost to ensure that at the end of the project we are within the budgeted funds.
And the total budget amount's gonna be $1,421,000, is that right?
Yes, sir, for your overall project.
6. And the grant is $450,000, just so everybody knows.
About the EMS.
And the EMS project, the construction contract has been drafted by the attorney. It was provided to the contractor yesterday. He was out of town yesterday and is anticipated to sign it this morning. And Jeff, at that time, Jeff has said that we'll bring it down to the court for execution. And the anticipated notice to proceed date on that is March the 16th or 18th also, towards the end of next week. We've already had our pre-construction conference out at the site with Dennis and his staff to ensure that everybody's on the same page about how we are going to be working within an operational EMS facility. The operations cannot be hindered in any way, shape, or form during construction. The road and bridge also met, talk about laydown areas and all of those things that are unique to the site. The contractors on board, they had good questions and they were well prepared. We have a seasoned superintendent and project manager on the job. And on that one, again, I'm looking forward to a good, successful project.
Are they gonna provide us a project schedule?
Yes, sir. That would be one of the first things they'll submit to us is a project schedule, a submittal schedule, a schedule of values, etc. So they'll have their, as I said, the contract should be signed today, notice to proceed anticipated from the attorney at the end of the week. And those will be the first things.
They estimate probably what, a 4 or 5 month construction?
It's October, I believe, is the, right around October. I don't remember the exact date. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And again, we have a project cost recap based on what was presented to the court on 2/9/15. The overall project budget is $1,334,054.42, and then the actual amount spent to date is $71,538.80. There are some items at the bottom. You'll see a footnote. There's $13,270.54 in county expenses. They're not part of this budget, but they're like for wood and that shelter building. And Gina's been sending us invoices, so I'm just tracking them on a separate schedule that's on the very back. We call it Z. And I guess with Luana's office, we just need to find out how those are budgeted and where they're being expensed out of, but they're not in my chart. So we can work through that.
Any other comments?
TSI.
Tell us about the soil test.
TSI, this is the proposal from TSI Laboratories for construction materials testing. They were the geotech on the project. Typically, we do like to have the same testing laboratory do the construction materials testing that performed the geotech for us. And I talked to Jeff Chapman and Herb, and they both said this is professional services. We can go ahead and request a testing request for a proposal from them. They're less than the budgeted amount of $10,000. So our recommendation is to go ahead and let TSI Laboratories do the work at for a cost of $7,946. These are these are invoiced based on the tests that are done, you know, on a test by test basis. TSI Laboratory has done a number of projects for the county, and they've always been within their budget. If a test fails, the contractor has to pay for the retest, so we would not anticipate ever going over the budget.
And this is basically the testing the concrete,
Yes,
not
sir.
that we're doing the soils again like that,
No,
just the
sir, yeah.
concrete, whatever
Concrete.
construction.
The fill material, as they build the pad for your foundation and for your paving, and then the concrete during concrete pours for the foundation and the paving are your essential. They'll look at the metal building structure, any welding that's done, those types of items during construction. You contract with them because they're representing you, and it's a quality control item for the project.
And you believe their bid to be a competitive one?
Most definitely, yes, sir. And they're closer than San Antonio, and again, they've been right in line on their numbers, and they're under our budgeted amount.
We need action on them, or
Yes.
I move that we approve TSI to do the structural construction testing.
Second?
Is there any discussion? We have a motion and a second to approve TSI. And that's the one dated January 9th. Is that-
Correct.
Okay. Without my name. I will sign it without my name, which I've already signed. So, any other comments? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. I vote no. Motion carries 4-1. We're gonna take a break for a minute. I'm sorry.
I'm on there, everybody said it.
Go see them. I'm done.
So the stand-in, the make-believe, I'm not really her, but I am right now. Wait, get a stool. I'm tall, but not as tall.
Slick. Very slick, huh?
Thank you, Pete. All right, the February collections report for the Karnes County Tax Assessor, who is not available today, for the Karnes County M&O, the current month-to-date collections, $6,936,645.29. Current year-to-date collections, $19,650,455.45. The collection rate is 97.81%. The delinquent M&O month-to-date, $3,445.26. The delinquent year-to-date for M&O, $42,143.90. The collection rate on the delinquent taxes is 17.32%. Karnes County INS, which is interest and sinking, the current month-to-date, $613,421.32. Current year-to-date INS, $1,737,974.58 for a collection rate of 97.81%. Delinquent month-to-date, $405.96. Delinquent year-to-date, $4,381.30. The collection rate on delinquent is 18.52. For the Karnes County-wide Road and Bridge Special Account, current month-to-date, $1,029,769.99. Year-to-date, $2,909,569.66. Collection rate of 97.82%. The delinquent Road and Bridge Special month-to-date, $785. Delinquent year-to-date, $8,798.04 for a 20.05% collection rate. And the Rural Fire District, current month-to-date, $349,037.36. Current year-to-date, $987,173.73 for a 97.8% collection rate. Delinquent month-to-date, $389.95. Delinquent year-to-date, $4,399.09 for a 20.29% collection rate.
I know you're not the official tax assessor collector, but where's the C-TERS? Does it show it in here anywhere?
This is total collections. Brenda and I have been working this week on the C-TERS allocation that will come out of these collections.
Tell me what you're talking about.
Windmill Hughes, I'm sorry. Instead of 1747, we created a,
That's the highway fund, 1747.
yeah, but that bill let us also create a,
Can I answer?
yeah, he can answer that for you.
Well, I shouldn't have to answer a question like that. The C-TRIZ was a condition of getting the Texas Highway Department money, so they're separate. So you have a fund that comes from TxDOT in the way of a grant that y'all provide a match with. Then the C-TRIZ is a zone, which is the entire county. And then a cap is set on any funds that come in above that going into the TERS fund. And it can be spent anywhere within the zone. So for her to be able to tell you how much money's in the TERS depends on collecting beyond the cap. And that amount that gets collected beyond the cap would be in the TERS fund at that point. So it's not easy to just put your finger on something and say this money goes to TERS, because it doesn't work that way.
I didn't know what you were referring to.
Right. Well, that's what the TIF and the TERS, they're two different things.
To be able to apply for the grant, we had to designate it a County Energy Transportation Reinvestment Zone, C-TERS. And the county elected to incorporate the whole county into the C-TERS, whereas other counties just did a specific road that they knew would have no new development on it or anything else, so there would not be monies funded that way.
And I think us doing the whole county has been to our advantage, because there's been some opinions now that they're not constitutional, but they do the whole county. They're picking and choosing.
And to answer your question, we should have current dollars that can be allocated to the C-TERS by the end of the week.
Same song, third verse. We're still working with Tyler Technology to get the journal entries done. Luana sent a very strong email yesterday to them with how unhappy we are that it hasn't been completed. There was just a couple of questions I think that Michelle had that they never really answered. So we have a phone conference today at 3 to try and get this resolved. So once that happens and we get the journal entries completed and we run new reports, all I have to do is go in and plug in the 3 months, the December, January, and February, the new ledger balances, and run my reports and run my balances, and then Luana and I will get together and discuss them, and I'll give you all 3 months at one time. But until we get those journal entries and everything settled with Tyler, I'm just not comfortable giving you anything.
Thank you, Mark.
Sir?
comments?
She is correct. There are, with the way that Tyler has rewritten the program from what we are used to, there have been additional steps that we are having to take, and we are not in agreement with those steps because that's not what was presented to us when we contracted for the software change. So we are arguing with them right now to do some additional programming to fix it. But in the meantime, to fix what's been done, we have to make journal entries, manual journal entries. But what they have proposed to us cannot be tied to all our expenditures right now. And so we are discussing with them correcting their proposed journal entries.
Where are the discussions?
Well, as Vice stated, I wrote a very strong email yesterday evening, which has generated the conference phone call this afternoon, and I feel like by the time that thing's over, we'll probably have some results.
That's at 3 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
How many expletives did you have to put in?
I didn't, I just used red ink on
She's
the
not ready.
words.
I have a, you know,
And they were very nice adjectives. Irritated, exasperated, yeah,
Frustrated?
frustrated.
is
and I can't remember.
it just us, but other counties have gone to Tyler
The other counties use Encode 8 or 9.
We're-
We are on Encode 10, which is
that
their
explains it.
newest
New.
development, and there's very few counties within Texas that have jumped to 10, but there's big changes between 9 and 10 because Frio County happens to utilize 9, and I've talked to Tracy at length, and she said, well, we don't have to do that, we don't do that. How come you got that? So they're still in their correcting stages, I guess.
Where the test
Or we're one of them. Yes, we are not the only one, but we are one of them. But it will get worked out one way or another.
And she put in her email that Commissioner Scott's getting very antsy about the whole thing, and that there are other departments that are looking at Tyler Technology that have put everything on hold until this issue gets solved, and that really makes some people move their feet quicker too. But
Let's just say I sent my email at 4:58 and I had a response at 5:02.
Yeah. She
And
did.
we have a call.
Yes.
this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're on to paying bills. If you will turn to your page 11, the final page in the report, I'll give you some brief summations as far as the expenditures on this account summary. You will notice under road materials, the total expended is $337,541.92. Of that, there are some equipment and vehicle purchases, $18,787 for a trailer and $30,834 for a pickup. The actual expenditures for materials is $287,920.92. Further down, you'll see an expenditure for heavy equipment repairs in Road and Bridge for $25,309.54. That is total repairs on one piece of equipment, a 1991 maintainer. And then you will see under Senate Bill 1747, an expenditure of $1,875. That is our monthly participation fee with the lobbyist, Mr. Holzhauser. Our monthly participation fee has decreased from $2,500 because McMullen County has also joined the coalition in funding Mr. Holzhauser. So the total bills for this cycle are $477,544.36.
But may I ask a question? What counties are participating in the coalition right now?
DeWitt, Gonzales, Karnes, and McMullen.
On judicial, there are a whole bunch of $400. Are those public defenders?
Yes, those are court-appointed attorneys.
And the other thing that I was going, okay. What's LEPC?
Local Emergency Planning.
Okay. Well, I've marked the cell phone deal there. I don't know how many people were involved in that, but I wondered,
that's the emergency manager.
Okay. But I mean, $186 for a cell phone?
Well, it's not only the cell phone, they have air cards for their laptops that they can utilize out in the field. It's emergency management, 911 addressing, and special
Okay, so-
projects, they all,
There are several phones which are coming.
yes.
Okay, that's fine. I figured there were, but I wasn't sure. Well, we discussed the things about some of these things that needed to be bid out, so I won't belabor that, but what kind of a new trailer did Roden Bridge buy?
What's your trailer, Mike, that you just bought,
Trailer,
18,000?
it's a 20-ton bill hitch trailer for the hauling loaders, backhoe, skid steers.
Okay.
That was a budget item for this year.
Was that also bought off of the, whatever you'll call it, buy board? Mike, when you have a buy board situation, is there more than one vendor that has a product that you can use? Was there more than one vendor on buy board who had that type trailer? Just
Not
one.
that I think so.
How about on the, I'm not picking at you, but how about on the skid steer? Surely on those, there were several different vendors that had approved skid steers.
Yeah, you got different ones, but they're in, when I purchased with warranties, like hoping 5 years, unlimited, bumper to bumper.
I understand, but-
While everybody else is in 2 years, and that's it. We have a motor grader right now with John Deere. It's been a nightmare, the electrical, the computer, it's out of warranty already, and we've been pumping in thousands and thousands of dollars trying to get this thing fixed. They send a tech out, and that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to buy quality instead of worrying too much about price, because when the motor grader goes down, that's a big issue in Karnes County.
Sure it is.
Commissioner, can I ask you to answer your question? Well, the way the buy board works is they give you a option 1, option 2, and option 3. The very best bid that they recommend will be option 1, and then the second bid would be a little bit lesser, and the third. So let's say one would be Whole Cat, the other one would be Pioneer Equipment, and somebody else would be that. So they give you the top 3, and they give cities and counties the opportunity to choose option 1, 2, or 3. Usually, option 1 is usually the most economical or the best value for the dollar. And that's how Smart Buy and Buy Board works. They give you 3 options on any piece of equipment. So that's how that works.
Well, Rwanda's helping me get access to this thing so I can take a look at it. That's my concern, is that we're not cherry picking, if you want to call it that. I realize that when you get something with more warranty than the competitor gets, maybe that $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 is not worth, the risk. But you got to come up with a level playing field somewhere to figure it out.
Make the motion to pay the bill as presented.
Second. Any other discussion?
All in favor of the motion?
Everybody sign that and vote.
All in favor of payment of the bills as proposed, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, motion carried unanimously. Don't leave without signing properly.
Your precinct 3.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not blue? Okay.
I guess here's the blue pen. I knew it was there for some reason.
We're on the last page, Judge.
Where's the date?
Today's the 11th.
On the last
12.
page.
It's not on the first page.
Does that stand for the date on it?
Am I not supposed to sign that?
You sign on the last page, and then there's a space for the date as well.
What today's date?
Yes, please.
What is today's
March
11.
11th.
3/11.
You're running fast, Bill.
Yeah.
Closer, please.
And I apologize, I think when I started the meeting, I said the 12th day of March, bring it back to the 11th.
You knew what you meant.
Huh? Nobody listened to me, huh? Yeah, I know we're not important.
Is that all we need to sign?
Yes, sir.
With
With
that
that
portion.
He still has list of the
Let's
reports.
listen to the report. Report from Rodney Reed, we had that yet, no, well, she, county clerk,
Yes, sir. For the month of February, we collected a total of $65,032.
how much?
$65,032.
That's it?
Yes,
You got some get away anywhere?
No, sir.
This report,
Is she here? You have her.
I have Mr. Clark's report, if you want me to read some of it.
I don't wanna read it, I just wanna hear it.
Well, her grand total collections were $27,145. Checks dispersed $6,729.41 for a net to the county of $20,415.59. And she has it broken down into civil and all of the stuff come to make it up. And on the last page is her collections and disbursements to the children, child support, I guess, child support. And it's laid out, let's see, I don't quite understand this one as well, but anyway, there was some citation serving fees of $64, motions apparently something, $45, and used suit for $350, other of $72, service fees $1,500, and I kind of think if you add it across, that makes a total of $2,031. So,
Just, county attorney. Judge, I think, Ms. Crabtree left one on your desk.
Yeah, she left one for everyone. For the month of January, in restitution, she collected $531, and in February, she collected $1,236.76. And court cost for February, she collected $397.24. Yes, sir.
Thanks. JP's, do we have a report from JP's?
I had some laying up here when I got here. I don't know if there were copies for all of you or not.
we have all four of them in our packet.
I only got three.
Golly, I got four.
I've got four. Somebody look forward to read them all. Fast. I'm looking off my sheet.
Precinct, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You
Precinct 1, new cases filed 311, county funds $45,376.48. Retained to the state, there was $18,573.82. Jail credit given was $897, for a total of $64,847. Is that correct? David? Precinct JP2, 109 cases for the month, $15,940.64 to the county, $9,849.26 to the state, for a total of $25,789.90. JP3, 150 new cases filed, $35,295.03 for the county, $11,021.34 for the state, for a total of $46,316.37. JP4, 34 cases filed, new cases for the month, $11,379.21 for the county, funds to the state, $5,094.91, and $16,474.12 total for the month. Year to date, all the commissioners, all the JPs have had 3,475 cases, new cases filed in their courts. Any comments? It'll be accepted and approved. We're down to juvenile department. Who's the juvenile department this week? Is that you raising your hand, Joe? Joe, was that you raising your hand? Yes, sir. I thought you wanted to participate. All right.
Prefer to listen.
Special project.
She left hers as well, she had to leave. For February, for determination development permits, they collected a total of $1,575. $400 went to engineer's fee for floodplain, so the county portion was $1,175. For OSSF permits, she collected
What is that?
On-site sewer facility.
Sewer facility.
for that. A total of $4,350. The inspector portion was $1,520. TCEQ portion was $120, so the county retained $2,710.
Comment, anybody, question? Rude. Special, no, the sheriff's department. Just do it from memory, it's all right.
I'll do it for memory.
See, that's all.
I'll give you your copy.
Okay, thank you.
February for the sheriff's department was quite busy, as you can see by the number of calls we had, but the assaults, we had 13, domestic calls, 16, disturbances or fights, we had 15, criminal mischief, 3, harassment, 5. We had 103 EMS calls come through our department. The fire calls, we had 18 fires during the month. Escorts, 16. Loose livestock, we've had a lot of livestock out on the roadways, 29. Prisoner transports, 56. Request to speak to an officer, 154. Road hazards, 44. Suspicious activity, 7. Suspicious subject or vehicle, 25. Thefts, 9. Burglaries, 8. Warrant service, 13. Welfare checks where we were asked to go and check on somebody's property or their person, 21. Civil standbys, 10. Miscellaneous calls, 191. Reckless driver, 13. Our patrol units did 708 traffic stops during the month, and 279 citations and 260 warnings were issued. An arrest, we made 80 during the month of February. And you can see the last number, accidents. We had 95 accidents in February due to the weather, the road conditions, and all the other stuff related. So we had a large amount of accidents. And this next page is our jail population. As you can see, the numbers have been quite steady. And there's a page, another page behind that one that has a couple of the last dates, but we've been running between 35 and 27, been fluctuating back and forth. But we had a very busy month, mainly because of the weather.
On the reckless driver, is that just someone So a citizen call in if there's a reckless driver, and they'll go check it out.
Yes, sir. Normally, if a citizen sees somebody weaving or driving recklessly or whatever they call us, and we send a unit there right away.
A lot of it is trucks.
A lot of it is trucks. And a lot of the accidents are truck related, and that's been a problem. A lot of the trucks, we had a multitude of accidents this month where the trucks lost control on the wet pavement. Either went through fences or went into the bar ditch or turned over, either one.
Excuse me, I had something in probably was in my mailbox, but I stuck it in here pending y'all's report. If I'm reading this is a January 20th letter, let's see, from the State Commission on Jail Standards to the judge and to the sheriff. What I'm reading out of it is our old jail is out of compliance. Is that what they're telling us?
It is not out of compliance. All they did was ask us to do some of our paperwork. So we did not get a non-compliance issue. We just got, basically what happened is when the inspector came in, the way our jailers were noting some of the visitation, noting the way our generator comes on and off. For example, we do a generator test. The way we were noting it, the tests were getting done properly, but the way it was noted on the log is that the electricity was not cut off and the generator kicked in. So the jailer failed to note that along with some other items.
So the paper problems, not real problems.
That's right. They were paper problems, and so what happened is they're fixing to come back. They gave us time to adjust it. We did a response through the county judge and us, and we did a response. We corrected all the paperwork they asked for us to do, and now they're supposed to come back and make sure we did what we told them we were going to do.
Thank you.
Kind of sounded like it was nitpicking.
Yes, I would say some of that paperwork is just, if you write it one way and I write it another way, or they prefer it to be written one way, it was just a difference in how the things were logged.
My way.
That's right. So anyway, but to answer your question, no, they're going to come back here and make sure our paperwork's up to snuff. They told us 30 days, so our 30 days is about up, so they should be here anytime now. Yes, sir. Thank you, Chief.
EMS.
There should be a report that was placed in your packet. That's it right there.
Dennis, I didn't find one. I don't know if there's any extra copies or something.
I have just a couple of extras here.
I have one. Give you my total number.
Save you from digging. Excuse me. For the month of February, was 104 dispatch requests. That resulted in 105 patient contacts. Transported 83 of those patients. Had 20 refusals. 11 calls were canceled by dispatch. 7 multi-patient calls. Had 2 air evacuations on the 2 sunshine days that we did have in February, I think. We did have 3 out-of-county transports. We did 0 fire hazmat standbys. Resulted in 59 trauma patients and 56 medical patients. Year to date, January 1 through 2/28, 236 dispatch requests. Our collections for the month, our Medicare total was $15,125.68. Other insurances totaled $9,238.11 for a total of the month for it's $24,363.79. Year to date, and that says January 1 through 31st. That should say January 1 through February 28. is $55,682.63. Thank you.
There was one up there.
Okay, Road and Bridge, we've got various oil companies that are donating material, and I'll put together a donation contract for us reviewing it. Hopefully we can get this done for everybody to acknowledge what they're doing. Sprint Energy for County Road 153, they're gonna do a mile of it. They donated 5,000 tons of material. In Canna, they're gonna do County Road 359. And on the 359, they donated 8,050 tons of material. Comstock, they're gonna do a small section on County Road 287. They donated 1,000 tons. And Marathon, they're doing a section of 182, and that road is one of the 7347 roads. But they said they want to do it anyway, and I told them, well, that's fine with me. They're gonna put 3,300 tons on that road. And Pioneer, they have done 331 and 332, and when they rebuilt that road, they added roughly about 10,000 tons on them sections. So we've got a lot of these oil companies that are donating. What I did was yesterday we went and looked at 326. That is one crazy road. Anyway, so I said, you know what, we're in the process of trying to find counters to put on some of these roads. What I did today was I put a man out from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. There were 65 vehicles total on that road. 30 of them were 18-wheelers and 35 of them were pickup and cars. And that's nonstop, all day. We were there yesterday with 3 blades because we have to hurry up and get off that road and go. And by the time we finished, it looked like basically didn't do too much to the road. So we bladed it twice. Came across, and we told them, we'll get off of it, let them pack it, and then we'll come back and do it again. We've got a lot of roads like this. Well, basically with the slow rain, they're all going to be in this position. So we've got 9 blades running that right now. I've got one of them that hopefully come out of the shop. I've got 7 of the county blades running, and I've got 2 contractors out there. So hopefully we can get this done. Construction part of it, limestone, we are not laying nothing down. We are maintaining all of our roads right now, handling work orders. You get slow rain like this, I've got tons of them. But anyway, we're going to handle what we can. We were talking material costs last time I was here, so what I did was I got with CMEX. CMEX, they charge us $5.25 a ton. They charge $13.63 for delivery. Comes out to $18.88 a ton. What we did, we got with B&G down here in Pettis. They charge $8.85 a ton. And we got with South Texas because they have no trucks. We got with South Texas Maintenance and asked more or less what their delivery cost is. And they said it's from $6 to $8. So I took the low number of $6 and added it up. It comes out to $14.85 a ton. So for the little bit of difference in cost, you get better material because phase 1 in the B&G pit in Pettis is already about done. They're having trouble right now getting material. We got another pit that's 7 miles. Oh God, I'm trying to think. It's out for 791. I was told by the contractor for EOG that there's a pit over there that's got pretty decent material. They're going to lay that on 182. I'm going to go assess it, see what it holds up like. But a lot of this part of the country has that pit run material, a lot of clay, and we're having trucks just sliding everywhere. Shelby, I think, seen one of the trucks sitting in the ditch.
Yes.
He was driving on the road and the trailer just slid right off in the ditch. And you move over a little bit too far, well, all it takes is that little whip of the trailer. And we had several of them, so what we did, we closed the road till the sun come up, and as long as it was passable, we opened it up again. There's no use blading a wet road because all it's gonna do is get slicker. Other than that, we went back to handling nothing but complaints. Reevaluating my budget so I can give a quarterly cost and what we were doing, how much material we put down, equipment where we're at, and go from there. So as soon as I get that, I'll bring it to the court. So they're gonna have a copy of that as far as
I'm usually critical, but in this instance, I would like to commend you. You have fixed some of the roads south of London, and that has alleviated a lot of complaints. There's still a few more, so don't quit, but I thank you for taking care of them.
I feel like you need to work on, well, 331, I drove it yesterday, and it's to the point where you have to go in and rip that up, and like we did that 182.
But right now, while we got moisture, you can create a windrow.
Yeah, but I don't
But
know
if we
if you
wait
get
a
that.
day or two, we're gone, we're history, back to concrete again. We've got those 3 blades running all the way to the river. One of them will jump across and do from the river to Runge, because that section of that limestone, it better get repaired now before we lose it. And then I've got another blade that's gonna go to 331. He's gonna take care of that all the way to 72, and then I got another blade gonna hit 342. They're gonna split up right there on the 3 county roads.
I think the court's gonna have to give maybe Mike a little direction. Mike and I have talked about it, you know, from the pavement, the state, I guess, at 60 feet that they supposedly regulate
Got it right away.
right away to the county road. But what's happening is that from the county road at 60 feet, it's just, we're not working at 60 feet, and it's full of, it gets these big old potholes. I mean, big holes. And either we need to I talked with the TxDOT about it, and they said, well, they'll fix them if they can when they're in that area. But if not, you know, it might be that the county's gonna have to help them to fix those potholes up, because it's getting to the point that the holes are getting deeper, and I'm really scared somebody's gonna hit these holes and we're gonna flip a truck or we're gonna have a wreck. But Mike, you know, and rightfully so, he said that's the state's right of way, so I don't want to do anything from the county to the state part, but yet
The only thing that makes
we may have to.
The only thing that makes an issue on that part is when we're on the county roads, it's 30 miles an hour throughout the county. When we jump on state right of way, it is now 55 to 70 miles an hour. My guys ain't trained for this. They'll step right in front of it without even thinking about it. We'll have to get all the signing to meet TxDOT standards on that.
Yeah, but
And the holes out there, we've been fixing them while we're there, and then it got, in my opinion, they just said the county will do it. They started forwarding everybody to the county. The problem we've got is most of these setbacks in the right of way to our line is paved. So when the pavement goes, if we turn around and put limestone in there, it's just a temporary fix.
well, what I'm talking about is where it's not paved.
Well, they're all paved. 99% of them are paved to our right of way line. That's all put in the contract when they do it.
But
It just broke in
yeah,
time.
but
It's
it's
just-
but it's not paved now.
Right.
It's all
And
dirt.
what it is we can fix the hole and it's gonna keep on, because these trucks, when they turn, they don't turn like normal people. They'll turn doing 50 miles an hour, and that's a lot of weight pushing.
Well, the other thing is 5 and 6 axles with 200,000 pounds drags a lot of dirt out. And I see the same thing off of 81. I think it's 334.
Yeah, we
And
feel that.
constantly, you repair it, and a few weeks later, it's back to the same thing, but it's because they're turning, on that instance, there's a hump. Half the time, the low boys drag the hump when they come over, so.
Yeah, it's a never ending battle. I mean, we fix them while we're there, and the deal is either we're gonna go up there, or we're gonna put, say, 25 tons of material just in that one right of way. You know, well, do you want to start fixing all the state right of ways? I mean, I'll do whatever y'all want. But to me, you know, if I start doing it, they're gonna back off. They got enough headaches with the pavement. Yeah, we do fix it while we're there. You know, but my guys, you know, we don't have all the signing and everything to put out there on 70 miles an hour. We don't have the training. You know, they can deal on 30 miles an hour because they know, well, it's supposed to be 30 miles an hour. They don't drive 30. You know,
is what's speaking.
And we're trying to get them in training. We got them on that work zone safety. We just had a course on that. And that was very beneficial because there was a lot of things these guys they weren't even aware of. You know, so. But I will fix them if we're in the area, but I will not make a special effort.
Yeah. Just so when you're in the area.
Yeah, everywhere in the area. And then to make another note, while I'm on that subject, I had TxDOT call me up, and they told me, hey, we've got a culvert pipe out there with a hole in it. So, well, you know, me thinking, here we go with that. When I get out there, it's on state right of way. And I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, you know, this is your pipe. So what happened was I got with them, and they said, well, you know, it's yours. I said, well, I put it to you this way. I said, I don't have the time to go ripping out pipes on state right of way. I said, so, you know, y'all gonna have to assist us. So Rodney turned around and got with Corpus on it. Corpus turned around and said, well, we did that in Goliad. I said, well, just if you did it in Goliad, don't mean you're gonna do it in Karnes County. So he said, Corpus turned around and said, well, we gotta make sure the language is right and send it to Austin. I ain't never heard a word after that. But they forgot that I used to work for TxDOT, so I know all the little tricks on how things work. And we did not replace that pipe, they did. That should be everything I got. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
I was going to do the report from the elections office. We wanted to let y'all know we're working with now just 3 entities ended up actually having to have elections for the May 9th election. So we're going to have Pettis ISD and of course just the Karnes County voters, and then we'll also have Kennedy, and then the school, Kennedy School, but also so those 3 were doing the administration of, but also Runge and Runge ISD are leasing equipment from us, so just so y'all are aware of that. So we'll be doing all the training, dropping off the equipment and getting all that done. And also so that you're aware, because of the 3 that we are administering, that would make me the early voting clerk. So anybody who has put in an annual application and is a voter in any of those areas, I will be needing to send them ballots by mail. So just, know that that's one of the big things we're working on. We're also continuing to work on maps and ensuring that we've got people in the right precincts as well. And we have been working very closely now with the 911 Twyla. She's been helping. Her and Mary actually went out and drove the county the other day on several addresses that we had issues on. We've still got some people in the system that are, near the old railroad and across from 181 or whatever, and so they're not valid 911 addresses, so that doesn't really tell us where their residence is, and so it makes it almost impossible to make sure they're in the right precinct. So we're still cleaning all that up. That was never done before. So just know that all that is going on. I would like to, I know we talked about it earlier, but to remind you that if the space does become available for more accessible voting for our voters and a little bit more office space. The office space itself is not the deal. It's when we have to hold early voting that's the big deal, and being able to get those people in and out and having room to hold the voting, as well as on election night with the early voting ballot board and those types of things. So just keep us in mind. We really appreciate that when you're looking at new spaces. And like I said, I know we had initially talked, and I know it's not official, about the DPS office from Natalie's, but that would be perfect. And I'll just tell you that because we could bring the voters in from the outside and be able to do that. And then just one more thing I just want you to be aware of. I have been getting calls from many of our election workers who worked on February 17th because they're looking for their payments. It's been almost a month now and they still haven't been paid because of the cutoff dates for the checks. The cutoff date for me to be able to have gotten them paid at the last Commissioners Court meeting of February would have been Election Day, and that has happened to me, I don't know, several times. It happens to be on Election Day or cutoff day, and so, you know, we do our best to get the information to the auditor's office the next morning, but since we've missed the cutoff, they have to wait another whole cycle. So just know that I just want you to be aware of that, so that's not information I'm holding on to that y'all haven't heard. So I think that's all, unless anybody has questions for me.
Well, now that everybody's missed lunch, we'll talk money.
Please spend it.
I have provided, by way of Erica, January 31st and February 28th reports. As Vi mentioned earlier, because of issues with the new software, I am not confirming any cash balances in the checking accounts. I can confirm to you the outside investments. As of January 31st, total investments either outside entities or with Falls City National Bank as far as certificates of deposit were $44,338,277.51. In my packet on page 9 is the debt requirements. Sales tax receipted in January 2015 was $842,484.50. For the same period in 2014, the sales tax was $593,710.22, which is an increase of approximately 41.9% to $248,774.28. Within the bulk of the packet, I have given you breakdowns of the balances per the bank in the accounts. Of course, there's outstanding checks and deposits to be taken into consideration. I also gave you the statements from our outside investments, which will allow confirmation of those monies being invested. As I report every month, the legal fees for the tax abatement from Energy Transfer Partners remains outstanding to the tune of $5,606.24. I emailed, and faxed information to Energy Transfers and Regency Energy Partners, and also to Fine, Belpham Phelps, who was the attorneys that handled it from the other side. I received UPS delivery confirmation to Regency Energy Partners and Energy Transfer Partners on January 20th at 3:35 p.m., but to my knowledge, the county has received nothing as far as correspondence payment or anything else as of today. We also still have not received the final reimbursement on Phase 1, the west wall of the courthouse, from the Texas Historical Commission in the amount of $94,539.53. February 28th, the total amount of monies deposited in investments, either certificates of deposits or with our outside avenues, total $53,824,394.41. Again, I've attached a spreadsheet with the bank statement balances, the CD balances, and the outside investments. The cash amounts in the checking accounts will vary from what's on the statement when you take into consideration outstanding checks and deposits. Debt requirements are on page 9. We had 2 of our major interest payments in February, one for the certificate of obligation on this building and one on the bond payments for the jail and the $1 million in road and bridge bonds that have been sold. Sales tax receipted February 2015, $965,282.44. Sales tax for the same period in 2014, $683,014.85. Again, an approximate increase of 41.3% to the tune of $282,267.59, and the same notations on the reimbursements that we have not received from Energy Transfer and from the Historical Commission on the courthouse west wall restoration.
I think this is something that needs to be left for the chief financial officer, investment officer, whatever the term's going to be when they come in. I do have a couple of questions, no action, but on these three outside investment companies that are holding the overflow funds,
Yes.
the interest rates are exceedingly low, it looks like. Are these insured accounts?
Yes, they are.
They are insured accounts, okay, that makes a lot of difference. I know that some of the foundation money around earns a lot more than that, but I don't think they're insured.
Well, we also have strict requirements on how governmental money can be invested. It has to have liquidity, security.
Well, I'm not promoting any one thing, but I know the Texas A&M Foundation handles money for other outside institutions investing and handling it for them. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know all the procedures, but I know that they handle all of the excess money and what have you for Stephen F. Austin and several other outside of system schools. And I'm sure the University of Texas and teacher retirement and or some of these others have, they may not fall within those parameters that you're telling us, but I was just thinking, it looked like it would certainly benefit investigating at some point in time.
And I'm actually an investing officer for the county. There is the Public Fund Investment Act. There are certain things that we have to follow. And to be quite honest, that's one of the things that I will gladly get off my plate is the investments, because when the tax money comes in and we've got $20 million that we're having to move quickly, it's difficult sometimes. It's the middle of payroll week to move money, because I conferred with her on, okay, we need to move this, what bills we have coming in. So yeah, the interest rate's really bad on some of those. But
I'm strictly in favor of the safest, most productive place. I mentioned A&M because I have some personal knowledge of it, but I'm sure there are others. Whether they fit these things, I don't know. But again, that's something for someone to look at when we get that position filled.
Can you get a hold of that attorney for that other company with the
Energy Transfer.
Energy Transfer, and talk to their attorney and see why they can't pay their $5,000? This has been going on for a while.
I don't want to get more black. He said if it was my time, I said, no, we only got a few more minutes and let's probably try to finish it out, Judge.
Okay, Shelby.
We had interviews for human resource. We interviewed several people. I was talking with the judge, and the judge and Mr. Hancock and myself were on the interview, and we interviewed I think 6 to 8 people. It was some good candidates. We just need to make a decision. Hopefully we'll do something next week, Judge. We can get together one day.
You'll be available next week, or?
Yes. But we need I want to go ahead and get this thing taken care of so we can get it moving. And another thing on Judge, I don't know, Commissioners, it's just something that I'll go trigger in my head, but I think maybe we all need to review what we do as Commissioners, and maybe we ought to, be assigned other duties to help facilitate some of this stuff that's going on. I know that, I don't think Mike has a commissioner for road and bridge. I don't think the sheriffs and EMS has anybody to talk to be kind of like their sounding board or something. So it's just a comment. We can meet this at a workshop one day.
We'll do so.
We have a meeting about this building next week. Like I said, it's 18th, so I'll have to check. Other than that, nothing particularly happened.
James?
Everything's going fine over the same as usual. Well, I've been kind of out of pocket here, but I've been talking with Russell out there. I know Shelby's offered me his help quite a few times to help me out, but I've told him it's not too much going on over there. Russell's taking care of it, and so yeah, we're about to fix another lawnmower for $500 and get one out there. Nothing else.
Pretty well passed around what I had earlier in the discussion on the permitting office. Activity is slowing down. I did hear a good report yesterday from one of the Conoco hands that they are beginning to reassess. They had cut to 6 rigs and they are looking at coming back up to maybe 12 sometime this year, depending on pricing, or at least the first part of next year. So that's a little encouraging. They jerked the slack out and now they're pitching a little back out again. But we're pretty much at a low end right now. I hope we're at the lowest end.
And March 28th, we're having our hazardous household cleanup again at the show barn. And on the 16th, we're having our food fair, again, at the show barn. Number 11.
I don't want you guys to adjourn the meeting before I get a chance. I've passed around the updated schedules. This one has been changed a little bit from last month. The seal coat program, because the weather's been bad, they extended the construction phase on that second line item there a month or so. So that's been pushed back. Probably that construction occurs in April, maybe even May. And so I wanted to just show you also that 199 and 211 are on a parallel course. I'm asking today to go ahead and authorize receipt and advertisement for this project. I feel like bidding about $5 million worth of work will probably get the county some better contractors, a little bit better pricing, and a whole lot more interest. So I think that'd be in y'all's interest to do those projects at the same time. So we propose the same bid date for both those projects, put them together. They would be separate contracts, just bid on the same date.
211 and 199.
299, yeah, you've already authorized 199, and if you want to hurry 211, get it in there at the same time. So that's what's before you today, if you'd authorize receiving bids on County Road 211. Any questions?
You're doing this to get, hopefully to get a better price on both roads, and
Yes,
it's a
sir.
bigger
A
contract.
little bit more work, chance to have 2 projects and work together.
And this, I believe, from what I remember on 211, both of these would be complete rehabilitation.
Yes, these are improvements, so it's going to be adding material, and not just 2 or 3 inches, we're going to be adding 8 inches plus.
And the mat. And
Doing the mat and everything right. Real good, strong pavement. And we'll be using limestone as part of the design.
and I assume all of this is budgeted for.
Yes, the 199 is a TIF fund, it's within that program. 211 is out of his normal budget, and it's one of the projects that we listed last summer.
All the, in consideration of James, I move that we accept the proposal to bid all of these and give you permission to move forward.
I'll second it.
Any other comment or any let's vote. All in favor of the two things.
County Road and map 199.
Just authorize the bids on 211.
211.
No, 199, we've already
You've
done.
already taken care of 199.
All in favor of these work to signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. All in favor.
I move to return.
I'll second it.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn, everybody in favor, give us a